The price of oil has dropped massively to $89 a barrel. That's a good thing, by the way. Graphs show a big vertical drop, which means that the world is expecting to get back some of its sweet, sweet oil, baby. What happened? Well, the markets were mostly ignoring what Trump was saying. He would say, peace is coming, and the markets would say, meh, we've heard that one before, shrug. But earlier today, Iran's foreign minister spoke and the markets perked up. What will he say? And he said the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of ceasefire. We'll get onto that last couple of words in a moment. Trump quickly jumped on the victory, racing to social media to announce a win. At last. Fully open, he said in caps lock. I'm going to resist the temptation to say sarcastically, okay, well done mate, back to square one, it was always open. Because an open strait is nonetheless good news for the West. But are oil tankers going through the strait? Is it open? Well, that's complicated. Oil tankers are being cautious, and understandably. This is not the first time that the strait has apparently been opened. It was supposed to have opened when the ceasefire was announced, but in reality it was only open to Iran's friends, not Israel, not the US, and as a result, not most of the West. A maritime security firm was still advising, as I recorded this, to its clients that you might be attacked if you sail through. Shipping companies told the BBC that it was not yet safe for them to sail through without more information. And tellingly, Iran was still saying that ships needed permission to go through the strait as well. That suggests an Iranian toll booth style might become a long-term legacy. Expect the oil markets to put the price of oil back up when the reality dawns on them that Iran now controls the Strait of Hormuz. Also, data shows that the US has not yet ended its own blockade of Iranian oil, something which threatens to make Iran close it all over again, going literally back to square one. So the question really is now, has anything changed? Well, it's all early stuff. The announcement was made several hours ago, and sometimes it takes a while for words to reflect reality on the ground or in the water. You may find these cynical warnings have all aged like milk by the time you're watching this. But also notice Iran's message. They said it's open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. The Iranians will be fully aware that the ceasefire is almost up. 2 weeks have almost gone by. Time flies when you're at war. And they'll be very aware of Trump's threats to take out their power plants, dismantle their bridges, Israel's so-called painful strikes. Iran may have decided better to try and stretch the talks out more, and what better way to do that than with action? Reopening the strait is a goodwill gesture from Iran. It says to Trump, we're willing to negotiate. We don't want strikes. Please don't strike. Trump also said that deals had been struck with Iran to get their uranium, which he calls nuclear dust. He said that the US troops were going to go in, take it, and take it back to America, but then said that troops were not going on the ground. So I'm not quite sure how he's going to get that so-called nuclear dust. Is he going to suck it up from the sky and put it from the ground? I don't think so. And by the way, Iran denied all of this. Iran said, we didn't agree to that. Nonetheless, Trump could and will call this a win. The closed strait threatened to topple the global economy, 1/5 of the world's energy trapped. That would go on all the way through the US midterms. Trump can now move on from that, hopefully. My viewers with a longer memory may point out that by reopening the Strait of Hormuz, that was never actually a wartime objective. That was something Iran has now learned it can do, but there were actually other objectives in the war, like replacing Iran's leadership and dismantling their proxies, which is why the US went in to Iran in the first place. But Iran has now shown that it has economic leverage. And that economic leverage is a very powerful tool. Iran has shown that they can open and close the strait whenever they want. Even this announcement is a flex. It's them saying, we can open it. We've opened it, not the US. Even Trump referred to it as the Iran Strait in his own social media post. I'm sure Iran will class that as a victory. Power off the strait has made Iran relevant to the world in the same way that a nuclear weapon might. If Iran does decide to give up their so-called nuclear dust, it'll be because they've realized what economic power they now have. Trump was still on a roll as I recorded this. He was on the victory lap. He said Israel was prohibited from striking Lebanon anymore, but admitted that the new peace deal did not cover Lebanon. That would have to come separately. Let's see if Trump can keep the price of oil down.